Robert Henderson Jr. Show, featuring Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner and president of the Henderson Financial Group. Understanding money. It's all about the money. Understanding money. It's all about the money.
Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. This is Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, live in the beautiful studios of 1210 AM The Man. I was caught up singing the song, and Sean, the engineer, says, "Hey, when you coming on, buddy?" I got caught up in understanding money. It's all about the money. And you know, we ain't never lied. It's all about the money. All about the money. That's a good jingle. I have to take my hat off. That's Paul Lewis, old school gang, who wrote and produced that song. I think like 14 years ago. Let me see. We got Linda. We got Linda here. Linda Keefe.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing
Good. How y'all doing, Linda? How you doing? Linda is my sister-in-law business partner. She's the vice president of the Henderson Financial Group. How you doing, Linda?
I'm doing well as can be expected, but I'm good.
Excellent.
Thank you for asking. How are you?
Good. And also we have Professor Keith Allen is professor. He's also a consultant at the Henderson Financial Group and financial planner. He's a licensed life insurance advisor. How you doing, Keith?
Just wonderful. I do have one comment, though, about the singing audition that you were doing at the beginning. That's not your strong suit.
Well, Keith, man, you know,
Yeah.
I'm over 60 years old now. If I can't do it now, when am I going to do it?
I'm just
I'm going to wait until I get older. Yeah.
Okay, well, then, well, keep going.
Make sure I don't put that on Instagram. Huh? I have to tell Isaac to edit that out. Make sure I take that out of the YouTube video, right? Listen,
Absolutely.
We got a fantastic show lined up for you today. You know, it's a lot of things happening, man. I tell you, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, first of all, it closed yesterday up 700 points. Can you believe that? Up 700 points with the economy basically closed.
Right.
And the market's up 700 points. And believe it or not, we're back up to 24,000. Can you believe that? The Dow Jones.
No rhyme or reason. No,
it's 24. The Dow Jones is 24,242, and S&P is back up to 2,874. Nasdaq is back up also. And you would think that, on March 13, when the president, officially said, state a country of emergency, closing everything down. The Dow Jones in March, it dropped 10,000 points. We're at 29,000. This thing dropped all the way down to 18,000. And, it's amazing, man. This money thing, it's all about the money, man. Linda Keefe, it's all about the money. And right now, it's amazing how we have a dilemma on 50% of the people in the country saying open up, and 50% says, no, don't open up the economy. What's your take on it? Some people saying, listen, man, we got to get back. I'm about to lose my mind. Other people saying, no, people are going to die. Keith, what do you think? You go first.
Well, it's amazing that you would say that, because I'm just looking at something in one of the books that I read from occasionally, and it says, everything we put our attention on becomes more, bigger, and brighter. So if you're looking at the biggest thing is the economy, and then you want to say, well, let's open up. But just like you were talking about the stock market, yes, it went up 700 points on yesterday, but remember the 2 days before, it went up 5, came down 5, then it went up 7.
Yes.
So it's a reflection of the folks have not and cannot make up their mind.
So what side are you on? Are you on for, hey, man, open up the economy. Let's get back to business. I mean, some people are going to die, but hey, that's, casualties of war, so to speak. I mean, where are you in this, Keith? I mean, do you want to get back to moving and grooving and get back into traffic and start back and working, getting production going on, for America? I mean, where are you with that? Are you saying, hey, let's chill out?
Okay, where I'm looking at is not going back. We're going forward because you can't go back.
And what do you mean by going back?
We said people said we're going to go back to how it was. No, we're not going back. We've got to go forward to what the new realities are going to be. Yes, we should go forward. Yes, we should open up the economy slowly and be cognizant of the fact that right this minute we've got some environment where people are dying that wouldn't have ordinarily because we got a new thing that we got to deal with.
So in other words, come May 1st or May 15th, are you going to go to the restaurants? Are you going to go ahead and start your life activated? Are you going to do that, or are you going to wait and see?
No, I'm going to do exactly what we've been doing before. We scaled back. I've been supporting our local restaurants, but I've been doing it appropriately, making an order, going and picking it up and keep it moving.
Okay. What about you, Linda?
I've always called myself a fiscal conservative, but a social Democrat, so to speak. I was on a conference call with Miami-Dade County brass, as a board member of the chamber, and you had employees, you had airport workers, you had unions saying we're now mandated to keep giving them insurance, but we can't earn a penny. And so what you heard from the business owners was we can't live like this. We have to gradually open this up. We get it that, 30 days, 45 days, but you can't keep mandating that we provide these benefits without earning a penny. And then, of course, as a businesswoman, like I said, 40% of my tenants did not pay rent, not because they didn't want to, they just couldn't. I went by a couple of the buildings yesterday just to wave and let them know, hello, y'all still see me now, you still owe me, but there's nothing I could do. On the other hand, I don't want to be the first one. Trump is saying open up the economy. You send your kids out there and get on the bus and go to the restaurant. You first. How about that? You go first. I'm on the side of listening to the scientists. I understand the businesses. You're 100%. I can't pay mortgage if they don't pay rent. I get that. But I'm willing to say I can't do anything. Lives are more important. This too will pass. I will guide and be dictated by what science says. I'm not going to be dictated by the economy. It's what science says. When these lies start, when we flatten the curve, so to speak, I'll be more comfortable. That's the only person I'll listen to, not even the economist, not even myself without getting rent. It is when we start seeing less cases and less deaths. I'm all for going back out there. And right now, we're not there.
So are you for, what side of you all on? Let's just say that.
I say we sit tight until we get less to little to none cases and deaths. I say your butt home.
So in other words, so you don't think that opening the economy up and losing, several million people is worth opening the economy? You're saying that that's not worth it. Saving lives are more important than getting back and having the cash flow and getting the economy back open. You're saying that, if it's in order to do that, if we gotta lose, 2, 3, 4, 5 million people, then you're saying it's not worth it.
What do you mean lose million people?
Die.
You mean jobs?
Yeah, die. People dying from the virus.
Oh, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying let the economy do what it needs to do, but stay home. Lives are more important. We will get back there, but stay home. I'm for staying home.
Okay. And Keith, if you knew for a fact, they said if we open the economy back up and start mingling and opening up, there's going to be at least 4 or 5 million people that's going to die in the U.S. But the economy, and there'll be more people who are going to live. Okay. There'll be more people who are going to get back, especially mentally, physically, economically, but we're going to have to lose. In order to do that, we're going to have to sacrifice the life of 4 or 5 million people. Will you say, hey, let the chips drop where they may. The 4 or 5 people that's casualty of war, but let's get the 300 million people back. I mean, what would you say, Keith?
Well, first of all, usually when we talk about life like that, the first thing is the people who are making those decisions aren't including themselves in the ones that are going to be part of the dying.
True.
So if you're of the belief that, okay, well, we may lose 2 or 3, you're not including yourself in that number. Do you want to be one of the ones? Now, if you're willing to put yourself in that mix, if you're willing to be one of the ones who goes, then I'm saying that level of commitment I can go with. But for me, being somebody who has already experienced losing some people to this particular pandemic, it's painful. Yes, they were going to go anyway, but they weren't going to go because of this. And if there's something we can prevent, then no. Lives aren't worth it.
I don't think that there is I don't think there's one economic strategy or solution that's a panacea, for the problems and the difficulties that we're having right now. I like that word, panacea.
Clear about
Love
that,
it.
yeah.
Well, what side are you on, Robert? You held our feet to the fire. Where are you? What say you?
Well, first let me give you, since that's a beautiful word. There is no economic decision that's a panacea, for solving this problem. Well, the word panacea, let me spell that for some of you all who skipped school and was not attending on a regular basis and did not want to read and still don't read. Let me tell you what I mean by panacea. The definition of a panacea is an answer or solution for all problems and difficulties. That's what the word panacea. Some people think that they have a solution for all things, but there isn't. Okay, a panacea. Open, do this, and everything will be solved. All problems will be solved. Now that's what we call panacea. I'm spelling that: P as in Paul, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, C as in Charlie, E as in Easter, A as in Apple. Panacea. It's a good word, right? So
appropriate.
So Linda, when you say
sir.
what do I feel and what do I believe in terms
sir.
of, do I think that economically should we open up the country even if we're going to lose millions of people? I feel that a life is so important. I think that rather than being lazy and just trying to say, hey, the casualty of war, I think morning, noon, and night, we should be getting tested. I think that they could have done a better job, and they still need to do a better job to do more testing before we open up the country. I really, really do. Now, in terms of some parts of the country that are not as effective, then yeah, I think that, they should be opened up. I think that we should try to do what we're doing now, wearing masks, gloves, and, social distancing and just being more responsible. But I do know that the United States of America will crumble, will come to a stop if there is no economics happening, because, we're a capitalist society and everything is based on, trade and cash flow. Lifeblood, the money and cash flow is the lifeblood of America. Flow, entrepreneurship, goods and services, exchanging, that's what America really is built on, creativity, demand and supply and demand. That's what America basically, in terms of the so-called free market. So to destroy that or stop that, then, there goes America. And there's a lot of theories out here and plots and conspiracy theories out here. But, I'll say so much for these plots and gotcha, they trying to do this to us. Whatever you are leaning on, or whether you feel that you know exactly what's going on, so what? What are you going to do about it? You can't do anything about it other than talk and spread rumors. If you're not in a position to help, why are you doing all that talking? Why are you doing all that? And I want to say something that I always say, Linda, I've said this for years. And I want to say something for our listening audience. I want you, whatever you're thinking right now, however you feeling right now, never make a permanent decision based on temporary conditions. I want to say it again. I don't want that just go in one ear and come out the other. I want you to think about the words that come out of my mouth. I want you to think about that, because the hardest thing to do for humans are to think. That's the hardest thing. You think that, this is hard. No. The hardest thing to do for mankind, for humans, is to think independently. So I'm going to repeat what I just said because I want you to let it soak in, marinate on it, meditate on it. Again, never make a permanent decision based on temporary conditions. So you got to ask yourself, right now, what's happening with this whole pandemic? What's going on? Is this a permanent condition or is it temporarily? In other words, shall this too pass again? Are we going to stay stagnant? Or as time, we're going to move from it? Because I remember we had the worst hurricane in Florida. Follow me? If you look back on your life, man, you've been in some mess. You've been in some places you're like, oh my God, I'm locked up. I'm getting ready to do life in prison. Oh, I got a stay of execution. I mean, the good thing about time is it's not stagnant. It moves. And time doesn't need the president. There's no the queen. No one has the goods or control of time other than the creator. So that's why it's so important. It will reveal the truth. It will fix all. Really. So never make permanent decisions based on temporary conditions. So if you feel this way, don't jump out the window. And right now, what's happening right now, you don't have money. You can hardly eat. Come on, man. Don't kill yourself. You know what I mean? Don't. You're going to get past this because time is on your side. You just got to get one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. I mean, we just in early first week of April, second week of April. And the Dow Jones was at 18,000. Now it's back at 24,000. It's only like 5,000 points away from where it was. It's come back a hell of a lot. Now, what's amazing, Linda and Keith, is the so-called Wall Street gurus. Very, very complexing. Very, very. I mean, on one hand, you have so-called smart guy, billionaire, hedge fund that says he think in 2021, the Dow Jones Industrial Average might go to 40,000. Now, it's at 24 right now. The highest it was almost 30,000. 40,000. Saying that after we get over this pandemic, that the market just going to take off. And I don't know. Then on the other side, you have Big Wig, who just as credible, says that, oh man, this is a mess that we're in right now. I mean, it's not going to be a V shape, meaning the market came down, it's going to come straight up like a V. It's going to be a U. And this guy is saying, I mean, this guy has a lot of influence. He said he can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropping down to 10,000. So, I mean, if they're giving you advice, no wonder the average citizen, Joe Blow, don't know who to listen to. It's very, very confusing. What do you all think? I mean, you think the glass is half empty or half full?
I always look at it as half full. But to your point, listening to all that, that's why they recommend dollar cost averaging. Just keep, investing. If you're doing monthly contributions, keep doing that. If you're not retiring in the next 5 years, work your plan. Get yourself a plan and work it, because if you listen to all the chatter, it will drive you nuts. So keep your deductions going into your investment account. Keep dollar cost averaging. Work your plan, and don't get caught up in the noise and the chatter.
Good. I like that. What do you say, Keith?
And the other thing was when you think about what you said just a few minutes ago, is that don't make a permanent decision on temporary conditions. The thing that we have to remember about that is conditions are always temporary.
But see, most people think that I mean, you got to tell people that's locked up, they're in a position and they feel like, okay, I got to do something now, desperate. And now they're doing 30 years on something now they think that was dumb and it could have, that could have passed, especially when you get emotions involved in it, I mean, you see your girlfriend or your wife in a restaurant, with some guy, you just lose it, you want to kill a guy, and then you look back, you're doing 30 years for that. And you're like, man, that was, hey, and then you think about, man, she caught me plenty of times with some other women,
But once again, that is a condition, and it depends on how you use it. Remember, some years ago, we had the story about the gentleman who was convicted of murder, sent to prison in California, and had an epiphany and started writing comic books for kids to keep them out of trouble, and made a huge impact on society and made a bunch of money while he was in prison.
Yes. Listen, we got to take a station break. Sean is giving me that indication. You're listening to Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. On the phone here, we have with me Linda V. Harris, who's the vice president of the Henderson Financial Group, right along with, and she's my sister-in-law. We also have Keith, Professor Keith, we call him. He's a professor at the college, and he's a financial planner also, and he's a licensed insurance consultant. Keep it locked, stick and stay, don't go away. We got to take a small break. We'll be right back after the station break. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired of people giving you the wrong financial advice?
Do you have to make everyday serious economic and financial decisions on a daily basis?
Tune in every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and join us live as we discuss money, business, and finance.
We're the Henderson Financial Group, and we host Understanding Money every Saturday morning. Linda Harris and Robert Henderson, we look forward to seeing you.
Understanding money. It's all about the money.
We're back live. Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. Linda V. Harris, vice president of Henderson Financial Group, sister-in-law, and Professor Keith Allen, also a financial consultant, also with the Henderson Financial Group. That was a nice short break. Hey, I was looking here. Beauty sales, first quarter are up versus last quarter. I'm trying to figure out if people are staying in house, Linda. I mean, females are ordering, fingernail polish and skin care and hair coloring. I mean, how in that industry? I mean, it's booming over there, import export in terms of China. How is that beauty products are up?
I think for me, at least, I'm so glad that I'm low maintenance. I'm so glad I don't need the lashes, the mani, the pedi, the skin peel. This is one time that I'm glad I'm very low maintenance. But you have a lot of people that really, and I have a lot of girlfriends that look at their nails and they can't stand it. And I say keep yourself up. If that's you, keep as much normalcy as possible. But I don't get it because you're not going anywhere. There's a lot of blow your back out sales. I'm getting emails, my favorite stores, Nordstrom, Bloomie, 75% off. I can't buy anything. I can't even think of buying clothing. Where am I going to wear it? I don't know when I'm going to wear it. Or when this is over, will I be the same size? I mean, I've been having so much work. So I'm not buying a darn thing because I don't know what size I'm going to be when this is over. I don't really get it.
Listen, Linda, I can agree with this. Because I found myself grazing a lot more.
You know what I mean?
You just
pass by
the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I seen my son yesterday in Paris, and I said, "Oh my God, boy, you looking like a daddy. That's your stomach bigger than mine. You're 31 years old. I'm 30 years older than you, and boy, your stomach sticking out like you pregnant." And he laughed.
Oh my goodness.
He said, "Dad, the gym is closed. The gym is closed." I said, "You got to start walking."
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. But women just got to have some sense of normalcy. The sales are up along with alcohol sales, and
you know what else is interesting? With all of this coronavirus happening all over the world, not just the U.S. but all over the world. Have we heard much about the Taliban's and ISIS? Are Are they also social distancing? I mean, over in the Middle East, in Israel, there's no more bombs happening. I mean, people out there still fighting and bombing, or they're also hiding out for coronavirus. Have anybody heard?
Rona might have got them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
That's a good point.
I haven't heard anything about the, ISIS in the Middle East and, all the stuff that's going on and the killing and the bombing each other and the fighting and stuff. If anybody likes, hey, time out. We need this coronavirus going to get us all, so we don't want to die.
No, we've been so programmed to pay attention to what we're being told is the thing to pay attention to, that, everything else is going by the wayside. Yeah.
Well, one thing I can say, Robert, is for many years, when we look at our clients' cash flow sheet, one of the biggest expenses are eating out and shopping for women. And they keep telling us, Miss Harris, I just can't stop. Oh, we love going to eat it out. Well, how about now you cannot go eat out and you cannot go to the mall and you're still surviving. So if this doesn't teach you anything, you really can stop that $800 a month restaurant thing. And I got to keep saying that because a lot of people thought that, I just can't do it. It's amazing what you can do when you have to do it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see. And I know some people are ordering out, but it can't be like going and, ordering that $18 martini and hearing those words, may I take your drink order. That's completely different. So hopefully people will keep that up.
Especially with over 22 million people either furloughed or laid off. I mean, it's like I said, never make permanent decision based on temporary conditions. Now, if you think this is what's happening right now is permanent, then okay, do your thing. But if you believe that this is temporary, that this too shall pass, then don't make a decision that's going to be permanent, because right now this condition is not permanent that we're in right now, And with 22 million people on furlough or either laid off, the government has been pretty slow about getting those checks out. I mean, you're talking about a lot of checks.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, they're saying that they don't have the manpower. They don't have the staff.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, they say they don't really have that. And they're saying that the computer system is like, it's built in 1962. They said it's so antiquated, it can't keep up. They said they send out so many checks to, to couples who not even married anymore. And they're not even updated. There's some people that are dead. I mean, this thing happens but Linda, this thing happens so fast. I mean, you're talking about 30 days and the world has changed. I mean,
this is the greatest country in the world, and you saying the computer broke. You can't even send. People need money. People going to food banks. They running out of food in two hours, and you saying the computer broke? Unacceptable.
Yes, unacceptable. They still on COBOL system. I mean, the IRS is understaffed. And the people that are supposed to be processing all this stuff, they're not there. And if you call online, you don't get a live person because people are social distancing.
And if they were there, they weren't prepared for this level of workload.
No. I mean, it's a lot happening right now. But like I said, time is on your side. All you got to do is go to bed and wake up and, like you say, Linda, forget the martini. And you might have to go to 7-Eleven and get you some Mad Dog 2020 or something.
Oh, no.
If you want to sleep through this. But all that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't know. But whatever your thing is, but this too shall pass.
Yeah. That's going to create a whole nother problem. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hey, Keith, you like I touched a nerve there, Keith.
Oh, you did.
Bring back memories.
Oh, you did. Back to college. My goodness, don't do that.
Back to college ages, huh?
Don't do that.
Give me a phone line here.
I just got a text from a listener. Bobby Draper said he loved that advice. Never make a permanent decision based on a temporary situation. So you got listeners out there that are really, took that to heart. So thank you for that advice.
Yes. Oh, he's in North Carolina. I remember him. But because really, Linda, with all the advice and all the confusion that's going on from the so-called people that's supposed to know something, and you touched on it, Linda. You said, this is a time. That's why you should have a plan. and this is a time where things are like helter skelter, things are chaotic. And, not only do you have the talking heads that say that they know what you should do, or they predicting the stock market and how you should make money. And now people are trying to trade on their own and time the market, which is very, very difficult.
Right.
And then you have people that's telling you to go left and some telling you to go right, which is very, very confusing. But if you know in your mind you have a goal, you have a plan, then you can block out all the noise and all the chatter, because you're going to always be able to get shade tree, which I call it shade tree advice. You're going to always be, someone always can tell you what to do. They always got advice to tell you. Have you ever noticed that? If you ask, I don't care who it is, you ask the cab driver, you ask anybody, people are freely to give you some advice, whether they know what they're talking about. I mean, you ask a bald head man how to grow hair, he could tell you. I mean, everybody got, a fat man. Hey, if you want to get in shape, this is what you need to do. I mean, no one is short on advice. It's not a whole lot of people will say, well, I really don't know. Well, I think this is what you need to do. So many people that's not married will tell a married couple what to do. People that don't have children can give you advice on raising children.
Yeah, raising yours, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't have to hit 2 out of 2 with me. Come on.
Not married, don't having children.
Okay.
If the shoe fit. What is it? A hit dog will holler. Let's move right into, I wanted to talk about the subject that's very dear to me, because, and it should be dear to all of us, is understanding wills and trusts.
Oh my goodness, that's a business that's growing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it really is, because right now you really should be getting your financial house in order. And people ask me all the time, I mean, when do I need a trust, and what's the difference between a will and a trust? Because most people don't understand what's a living trust. They still think that you have to be very wealthy to have a trust drawn up, but you don't. And I'm going to give you a cheat sheet so you'll know the way I'm going to explain this. Why would you need a trust to avoid probate and avoid all the hassle and the costly expense of going through probate? If you have any assets that need your signature in order to be given to a loved one or someone else, in order to pass that asset on to another person, if you have to sign off on it, that's what living trusts are for. Because you are signing off on it and saying what you want to occur after you're gone, after you're in heaven, hopefully, not in hell. After you in heaven, you sign, you complete a document to say, this is what I want to happen in the case I don't get through this, coronavirus. And you put that on a piece of paper, so to speak. You actually say, this is what I want to happen. Now, and some of you saying, well, Robert, that's what you do with a will. That's true. A will, you jot down, or you have a form for that. You go to an attorney and you tell them exactly how you want your assets distributed. Who do you want to get your assets? And both of them start off like that, a will and also a trust. How they separate is upon death. One of these instruments, upon death, is etched in stone. You don't need an attorney. You don't need courts. You don't need to spend no more money. One of these instruments help to facilitate that. The other instrument, which is a will, just because you put it on pencil and paper or typed it out or put it in format or went to an attorney and you said what you want to happen upon your death, a will instrument means that, oh, no, you're not finished. Just because you put that on and pen and paper, wrote it down and put it in pen and pencil, paper, and an attorney charged you and put it in a nice little package, if it's called a will, that means you ain't finished. Even though you're gone to heaven, that will is not, and what you put on that paper is not etched in stone. It's not the final say, in other words. A trust, yeah, that's the final say. But a will, if you say you want Johnny or a Junebug or Sally to get your car, and you want your sister, your second sister, your sister-in-law to get your real estate, and if it's on a will, that can be contested. So when you die, if it's on a will, then you can have creditors, you can have family members come into court, because all wills have to go before the judge. And the judge has got to approve it and say, okay, based on the judge's feelings or his interpretation, he don't even know you because you're dead, you never met him. So now you're in a court of someone you have no relationship with, and they're going to decide based on the evidence, based on your loved ones or your sister or your girlfriend, when they come in court with their attorneys and they're trying to jockey for your assets. That's what a will is. It's free game. Creditors come in, people make claims to your things and your stuff. Someone will say, no, daddy put his boyfriend name down because he was, not in a good state. And they want to contest that. And when you have a will, that's what it's about. It can be a mess, especially if you have a big family and Big Mama said, I want my daughter to have this home. And all the rest of the 5 kids say the daughter really manipulated Mama because Mama has gone through Alzheimer's, and she manipulated Mama because she lived with Mama and the rest of them was out of state, and had Mama put her name on the will to say that she get the house and the rest of them get nothing. So they all get attorneys, and now that's what probate is. It's costly and it's a mess. And 90% of people have wills. Now, why don't attorneys talk to you like I'm talking to you? Because like I said, the name of this show, Understanding Money, it's all about the money, man. They're not getting ready to talk themselves out of business. When all this calamity and all this mess happening, ka-ching, ka-ching, somebody's getting paid for that. So y'all can argue all you want to, but you got an attorney, she got an attorney, I got an attorney. Them attorneys getting paid, and they go to lunch. And the longer this lasts, the more they getting paid, especially if Big Mama had assets. So that's what a will is, okay? Now, a trust, you don't have any of that problem. No, because whatever is on that document when you have a living trust, it's etched in stone. When Big Mama or Big Papa get ready to go to heaven, it's like musical chairs. If you in a chair, you're not in a chair. I mean, and you can't go to a judge and say, hey, this is not right, I want to contest this. No. Trust is living, trust is not contestable. Who you going to call? It's like Ghostbusters. You don't need an attorney. You can't go to probate because it's a trust. And let me tell you something. If y'all don't know about trust in America, you better ask somebody. A trust, man, that thing is airtight. That thing's been around 500 years. A trust, a Trust. What is a trust? Look up the definition of trust. It surely supersedes this thing called a will. All right? Linda? Keith, y'all with me?
Oh,
Absolutely.
right there.
Did I explain
Right
that
there.
good? Did I explain that simple?
Very
It was simple, but yeah. I think once again, just so we can keep stuff online or in line. Again, when you talked about the making permanent decisions on temporary conditions, I had a friend just the other day who took her husband to the hospital last week on Sunday at 4:00 in the morning, and by 4:00 in the afternoon he was gone.
Wow. Was the corona got him?
No, we had a couple of some other conditions, but it was just that quick. So, if in fact you aren't thinking about these kinds of things now, it's because you're thinking that, just like this corona piece, that you got time.
Now, was that her husband?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad you said that was her husband.
Yes.
Because if they were married, then she got spousal rights.
Yeah.
Listen, you're not in a bad position if you husband and wife and you do not have a will or a trust. Because most of the time, 99% of the time, when he died, she inherits and get everything. Okay? So she don't have to go through probate. Because,
Right.
you follow me? Because that's his spouse.
Right.
So most of the time, that's okay. You have to go through probate, or you have to have those wills and those trusts really when you're single. Now, somebody's saying, Robert, what happens if both of them go at the same time? Okay, now you needed to have a trust, or you need to have a will. I just don't like wills, because wills says, and attorneys don't like me saying this because it's like I'm taking money out of their pockets. But I'm trying to say, hey, if it's good, better, best, never let them rest until your good become your better and your better become your best.
Your best, yeah.
That's my third. I had to recite that in third grade. I never forget that,
We know, Robert. We know.
Oh, yeah, I done heard it so many times. Okay, sister-in-law.
So many times.
Good, better, best. Never let them rest until your good become your better and your better become your best.
Becomes your best.
Now,
Exactly.
I just did it again for you, Linda.
Thank you.
So if you're married, then it pours over to your spouse, unless you and your spouse lived under one roof but had two different lives. Then that could be a problem. Everything won't go to you because it's going to his girlfriend.
No,
Then
now
that
you
could be a
started that.
problem.
Don't start that. Don't start that.
So we could get, but Keith, I just simplified, but the example that you gave, Keith, when you said
Right.
that, how she rushed her husband to the hospital and he died, and you won't have a probate problem because she's still there to carry on. You have probate when usually there's a problem when it's one person still alive. Now, since he's gone, now she's by herself. Now she have to look at and pay attention to, in case she goes, how she's going to distribute her assets and who she's going to leave it to. You follow me? So she can avoid probate, especially if she have kids and not speaking to each other, they're grown, or they the only reason why they're being cordial because Big Mama is still around. But when Big Mama, Big Papa go, they tell each other, never liked you anyway, and I'm going to fight over Big Mama's, watch or jewelry or whatever. So then you need to probably have a living trust set up.
But what you don't get, what you don't avoid, which all of us know because we've seen it in our lifetimes, is okay. That particular part may be partially settled, but if you've got offspring and relatives and who were close and think that they quote unquote deserve something, you've still got that infighting that occurs that could be squashed if, in fact, you had another instrument.
Yes. Now, I want to say this. I want to go on record to say, a will is just like, when I look at a will visually, a will is like a horse and buggy. I mean, it's like most of us are driving around in a car or something, or a motorcycle, even a bicycle. But a will is like having a horse and a buggy. I mean, it's so antiquated and it's so outdated. But most of us, if we feel like we don't have a whole lot, then we want to have a will. But if you don't really own anything, if you don't own anything that needs to your signature in order for your loved ones to take it over, then you don't need a will. In other words, like I had an uncle, Uncle Willie. Uncle Willie didn't have anything. I mean, he used to come sleep at my mother's house some weeks, and then
He didn't have anything.
No, I mean he was just a rolling stone. I mean, I don't think he had a car. He borrowed somebody's car, and he coming around our house like, whose car is that, Willie? Oh, it's my friend. And next time he have his girlfriend car. But he didn't really own anything. So when he died, I mean, we didn't have to go through, he didn't have a will, but he didn't have any assets. He didn't own anything that needed to come out of his name and be transferred to someone else. So he didn't have a car. He didn't have a house. So he didn't have anything. So he didn't really need a will. So if you got someone who doesn't have anything, a bank account or something, they don't have anything. They probably don't have much in a bank account. But bank accounts, I'm telling you something. If you die and you don't have anyone besides yourself on that bank account, you're gonna have to go to court to get that money out. Your loved one.
That's a beast. Rob, over 50% of marriages are second marriages, and in my case, third marriages, because I will get married again. I just don't know when. And people have blended families. Most of my friends are divorced, or if they're married, it's their second marriage. And so they often ask me, I don't want to make him feel bad, but I really want to leave something to my children. I want to put my child's name as the beneficiary on my 401k or 403b. I want to put my child's name as owning my house. I had the house before I met him. What should I do? I don't want him to feel bad. You have to have that conversation. There is absolutely nothing wrong with working hard and saying, I'd like to leave something to my children. And if he doesn't understand that, you have a bigger problem. And that's why when people say prenup or no prenup, I say prenup, but it's a conversation. You should never have to sneak around and be scared or concerned. I don't want to say scared of what he or she's going to say. You worked hard for that. It's your asset. Yes, you're now blending assets, but that's why trusts are so important, because a lot of us will be getting married for the third time. And there's nothing wrong with not leaving everything to this new love that you just found. Y'all still in the boot up stage and you still smiling. You don't know how it's going to end up. We hope it end up forever. But in the meantime, your children deserve the fruits of your hard work and your labor. Don't you agree, Robert?
No, I agree. And I have it's not a panacea, but it does help. A lot of that could be taken care of by simply with the life insurance. You can spend your money, you can take out a life insurance policy, and you can actually just put them as beneficiary. Life insurance companies don't. If your name is a beneficiary, you getting that money, and the courts don't mess with life insurance companies. They can't take you to court, and so if you really want to give something, leave something, you're gonna leave them $100,000 or $50,000, and it doesn't have to be your hard-earned money. You can actually take out a life insurance, because life insurance is the only instrument that I know, Linda, on the planet that guaranteed to happen will happen what you want it to happen, what you want to happen. I want to say it again. I don't know anything on the planet other than life insurance that will happen what you want to happen.
No fighting over it. There's no changing the company's mind. There's no. But that's his girlfriend and I'm his wife, and none of that.
If you take out a policy and you say, I want my girlfriend to one day have $100,000 tax-free. You take out a life insurance policy. You put her down as the beneficiary, and you pay on it monthly or yearly or whatever, and you go on about your business. Wherever she is, even if y'all not even together again, when you get ready to go to heaven, what you want to happen is guaranteed to happen. She's going to get $100,000 tax-free. That's it. Now, I don't know, so you don't have to worry about the stock market. If you say, I'm going to buy a stock or I'm going to buy real estate, you don't know exactly what's the conditions of real estate or the economy. But when you say it's insured, if you say, listen, I want the church. When I die, I haven't been able to tithe like the big wigs, but when I die, I'm going to leave the church $500,000. I'm going to leave the church $1 million. All you got to do is take out a life insurance policy, pay on it. Hey, you pay on these cars. People buy cars, $50,000 cars, and pay the $50,000 car off in 5 or 6 years. So you trying to tell me you can't buy $100,000, $200,000 life insurance policy where you paying $1,000 a year or $2,000 a year? See, people really, like I said, the hardest thing for mankind to do is think. You could do a lot with life insurance, and not if you, especially when it comes to estate planning. If you don't want your children, or if you don't want someone to be fighting and arguing on it, you can give them something, and it doesn't cost a lot. I'm talking about pennies on thousands. You follow me?
Absolutely. And I try to tell people it's not like your grandmother's life insurance anymore. It can be used to build wealth. It can be used to help that generation, create generational wealth. Life insurance is like you said, pennies on the dollar, and will go to whomever. They will find that girlfriend even though she may have moved on with a new family. But if you put her as your beneficiary, it's her money, and no one can take it away.
Even if you the new girlfriend, Linda, and he died, and you was taking care of him, and you look under the mattress and you see this policy, and it had the old girlfriend name on there, and you've been with him 20 years, and you called the life insurance company and says, this isn't fair. I took care of him, I bathed him, I fed him for 20 years. Who is this Susie Q that's beneficiary on this life insurance policy?
Right. And
The
the lady can't sue and get nothing? Nothing.
Not a dime. Not a dime.
The life insurance company not going to even talk to her.
Not a dime.
They're going to give it to Susie Q, wherever she is. Susie Q could be somewhere on a pole. She getting that money.
Hey.
Susie Q might have two-timed him, but he forgot to take. Susie Q might have did him bad, broke his heart, and that's why he with you. Susie Q getting that money because she forgot to change the beneficiary on that policy. Isn't that something? Listen, we got to take a station break before we get out of here. We're going to take like a 20, 30-minute break, okay? We'll be right back. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired of people giving you the wrong financial advice?
Do you have to make everyday serious economic and financial decisions on a daily basis?
Tune in every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and join us live as we discuss money, business, and finance.
We're the Henderson Financial Group, and we host Understanding Money every Saturday morning. Linda Harris and Robert Henderson, we look forward to seeing you.
Understanding money. It's all about the money.
We're back. Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. Joining me live via satellite is Linda V. Harris, who's the vice president of the Henderson Financial Group. She's also my sister-in-law. And Professor Keith Allen. He's also a consultant, financial consultant, insurance consultant at the Henderson Financial Group. You guys still hanging in there?
Absolutely. You going to give the phone number?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me give out the telephone number to the office first. Call us if you want consultation. We're doing go-to-meeting meetings. We're also doing Zoom, and we're on the telephone, and we also communicate with you. Call our office on Monday if you want to discuss retirement planning, financial planning, tax strategies, or anything. Call us at 305-825-1444. Let me say it again, 305-825-1444. Also, visit our website at www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. And repeat that, www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. And we'll be happy to help you. The number here to the studio here is 786-633-5927. 786-633-5927. Anybody want to call in and see if you tell me if you learned something today, if anything, let me know what you're feeling. If you like that living trust, are you contributing to the beauty products being up? I mean, Amazon, man, goodness, Amazon is record highs. I mean, this stock is over $2,400 a share. I mean, this thing, it's pandemic and coronavirus. The other one is up pretty good too. Is Walmart hung in there too, man. I mean, there's some specialties stuff that are up, but it's amazing what's going on right now.
No question.
I had to get tires on my car. I had a blowout on I-95, guys. It was so frightening. I had to go get tires, and I'm sitting outside of Costco because they took away the benches. And I'm watching because it took 45 minutes to put the 4 tires on. And I didn't recognize where I was. When I tell you, it was like a movie with the mask and people moving slow. And they only letting 20 people in, and they're clicking the clicker as 20 people walk out. And we're standing 6 feet apart, and people are just moving like zombies. It was, I felt, I tell you.
What, this is Costco?
I don't know. I'm running out of adjectives, but I didn't recognize where I was. I didn't, and it was frightening.
Oh, Costco doesn't have that system like where they come and do your shopping for you, like and bring your stuff to your house, and they don't have that.
To my knowledge, no. They may, but I wouldn't use it.
I mean, a lot of the grocery stores now, having where you can actually call in and they'll do your shopping for you and bring everything to you, Linda.
That's
You
true.
can pull up, you can pull up and have it put it in the trunk.
Yeah.
I had a blowout. You didn't even say, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I had to get tires
You had a blowout?
on I-95.
Oh, so that in order to have a blowout, that means you was riding on bald-headed tires.
There was a nail in it. I didn't realize, Mr. Henderson.
There was a nail?
You sure?
No, I don't sound. Well, that's not a
You didn't even say,
blowout.
"Are you okay?"
Okay,
Yeah,
you
it was-
sound
yeah.
okay. You sound just hot and feisty and bushy tail. You don't sound like you wounded right now. Sound okay to me. You don't even sound like you don't even sound like you're wearing a mask. You probably don't go out with mask on. Do you wear your mask, Linda V. Harris, sister-in-law?
Absolutely. Oh,
Okay.
not at the house, no. But when I go out, I do.
Okay. What about you, Keith?
Absolutely, but Linda probably has a couple to go so that she's it coordinates with her outfits, though.
Better believe. Better believe.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's not a single mask kind of girl.
So you got a fuchsia. You got a fuchsia color mask.
I saw a bling one yesterday. I almost ran the lady down to ask her, "Where'd you get it?" It had rhinestones. It was beautiful.
You can't be serious.
Yeah, it was beautiful in Costco. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
hey,
God.
listen, y'all. The market's gonna be open. Let's see what Stay tuned over the weekend. See what happens. I want to say this again, just in case some people joined us late, and I want you to think about this. All of the things that you're thinking about right now, and the world is changing. And they're saying that it's not going to go back to where it was. It's a lot of times when situations like this happen. Creativity takes forward and births a new technology or new way to doing business, But I want you to remember, like I said, never make a permanent decision based on temporary conditions. And if you know that where we are right now in time, this is temporarily, then hang in there. This too shall pass. Time is on your side. We will get past it. It's like driving on the turnpike and you run into a pocket of rain. It's like the rain cloud. A lot of people, Linda, Keith, they'll slow up in that rain. Me, I speed up a little bit. You know why? Because I want to hurry up and get past that rain pocket. And if you go down a couple miles, oftentimes there's no rain. So this too shall pass. The situation right now, we're over a cloud. So be safe. Practice social distancing. And don't be so quick to run out. And every life matters. Love you.
Absolutely.
Peace, happiness. Have a fantastic weekend and be safe.